Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Roosevelt. These monuments of American history transcend the limits of their times to make the United States the greatest example of...
What is that guy talking about? You know, the great people of history were just that, people. No different than you and me. They had good days, they had bad days, and sometimes they just did stupid things. George Washington led the colonists in a war to free us from the tyrannical tax policies of Britain. But when he was president, he led the army into Pennsylvania to collect a tax that the citizens didn't want to pay. Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal. But on his plantation, he owned hundreds of slaves and even had children with some of them. And let's not even get started on Andrew Jackson. He assaulted and dueled with anyone who dared insult his wife. But these guys all had one thing in common. They and all other presidents worked for us, the American people. This is why we need to develop the confidence to judge them by their actions and vote them out of office if necessary.
That's the most important reason to study history. We practice judging figures from the past as people, so it will be easier to evaluate our current crop of leaders.
So how should we judge our public figures? We use our core values and beliefs. That's why Homeschool Connections is such an important teaching resource. Content based in Catholic values is delivered by passionate, dedicated individuals. As someone who has spent 20 years in the public schools teaching U.S. history and civics, I know what a difference that can make for students. I'd love to share my knowledge of history and all of its interesting anecdotes with a wider audience. Sure, I've written curriculum documents, and I've designed all kinds of engaging lessons for synchronous and asynchronous environments. But there's just something about interacting with an expert in the field as he takes you through a thought process and sparks your interest to learn more. I entered this profession to help make our country better by creating a generation of informed, passionate, and involved citizens who make their decisions based on values. Teaching for Homeschool Connections is a great way to do that.